3. Hello there, General Techno here with yet another comic review. This week I'm going to be taking a look at that new ongoing by IDW Publishing, The Transformers issue number 1. I got the Don Figueroa wraparound cover, which is pretty nice. Anyway, for those of you who watched my 46-minute diatribe on how inaccurate Transformers Continuum was, I'll say that this is ideally going to be a lot shorter. And I'm not going to be doing a as I read it analysis because I'd already seen half the book through previews anyway, so I figured it was pointless. I'm going to try a few other different things. Anyway, I guess the first thing to talk about is just the new designs that Don Figueroa has done in this book. He's redesigned the Transformers, and he hasn't really redesigned them in the sense that they're all new bodies and stuff. It's the same types of bodies, and they're recognizable as different characters. But the thing I don't like about it is the faces. I've mentioned this online on message boards and other stuff, but I love the designs, except the faces aren't very good at all. In fact, Alex Milne, the very awesome and very nice guy, Transformers artist, he did a piece of fan art on his DeviantArt, which uses Don's new body types, only instead it uses more G1ified faces in terms of the style, and let me tell you, it looks incredibly better. Anyway, let's get on with the comic review. First, I'm going to start off with a quick story summary. We begin with Optimus Prime doing his big monologue movie style in terms of freedom is the right of sentient beings. We get a really nice double page spread here in which we get the Autobots and Decepticons fighting each other with the whole, but all we've spread is war. So, Optimus Prime spreads his monologue about how, well, all this stuff has happened. The Autobots have done all this stuff, brought their war to Earth, destroyed their own planet. And yeah, then, as we all know, all Hail Megatron happened. Megatron gets killed, or at least seemingly killed as far as the Autobots know. And yeah, then it's over. We pick up now in the near future, which is 3 years later as given in solicits and stuff. But yeah, we've got the Autobots, they're in disguise. They're not doing anything really that much. They're just hiding out, basically going around thinking, I hope that nothing happens whatsoever. I really hope that there's nothing that disturbs this already tenuous peace because we can't expose ourselves. And guess what happens? We get Breakdown showing up, deciding, I'm gonna attack a power plant and refuel myself. Because really, how else is he gonna refuel himself? He's on Earth, he's looking to fuel up, attacks a power plant in a very, very, very brash way. Not exactly robots in disguise. And then in comes the machination. Sorry. Skywatch. Skywatch is analyzing this. They've noticed that this is going on. They report to Spike, who is a major in the army in this and leader of Skywatch's actual strike teams. And they basically say, yeah, we've got a guy called Breakdown attacking. We need to do something about this guy. So G.I. Joe, sorry. The machination, Skywatch, deploys. Meanwhile, Breakdown's just going after his little fuel up, taking about it in his own Decepticon, just take whatever the heck I want way. And what comes in? Mechs. That's right, human-piloted mechs. They pin the Weekend Breakdown, attack him, and it's then that we find out that Prowl's actually on the scene as one of the police cars there. They don't know that he's there, but he's essentially remarking on how it's incredibly overkill, sending sending about 4 mechs or so to attack this innocent little Decepticon. He didn't do anything. He just blew up a factory. What did he ever do to them? And then they comment on how they apparently they capture these Cybertronians and then they siphon off Energon or something like that. That's at least what's implied there. They capture them and then they drain them dry. So anyway, the humans have essentially a device like that one that Shockwave invented way back when, which was used on Soundwave for some time, which locks the guy in his alternate mode. And they use this on Breakdown, lock him in vehicle mode, and then it turns out that, well, the humans have weapons which they're going to use to kill Breakdown. And so Prowl, completely in character for the guy who told Ratchet, no, you can't go and interfere with the humans. The guy who went and reprogrammed Cup's mind without Cup knowing about it. Yes, the very cautious, very logical Prowl, true to character, ends up coming out, revealing himself, and deciding to defend this evil, innocent little Decepticon here who's about to get utterly slaughtered. Of course, evidently Spike knew that he was there because they're ready and they blast Prowl right away. So it's really a bit of a stupid move. Because then Prowl gets captured. But fortunately, we've got another Autobot on the scene, Streetwise, who apparently was on Earth all this time, or arrived on Earth at some point. Don't ask me why there's more Autobots coming to Earth, but he's there, and he returns to base. Meanwhile, Wheeljack's doing what he does best and making some device that to disables these inhibitors. Prime wants reports on everything. Drift is there. Drift is not that well drawn by Don Figueroa. And I attribute this completely to the Transformers animated style nose that Drift has in his concept art, which doesn't look very good at all in Don's artwork. And yeah, Prime's basically saying, we need to install these things. We can't let what happened to Prowl happen to anyone else. And, well, not everyone's happy with Prime's assessment. Namely, we've got Hot Rod, who's pissed that Prime is basically saying, crud, we lost another one. Oh well, let's just upgrade ourselves and keep hiding out. Hot Rod's basically saying, what the heck are we doing on this planet in the first place if they're just trying to kill us? Why don't we just up and leave? We're just dying right here, and they're just beating us in a war of attrition right here. And Prime, meanwhile, says, no, we need to stay hidden. We've lost. We can't do anything. And Hot Rod basically says, what are we even still doing here? We need to leave. But Prime doesn't want to leave Earth because of the whole, oh no, the humans are in danger. Of course, Hot Rod then points out that the Decepticons won. They haven't come back. Big whoop. And so yeah, Hot Rod and Prime get into a fight, and Ironhide then steps in to try and resolve this whole mess. And then Prime, he basically lets Hot Rod send a strike force to try and get Prowl back from Skywatch's holding facilities. And Ironhide goes along in order to keep an eye on Hot Rod. So, we then get some narration from Prime. They go there. It's kind of like Reservoir Dogs, really, in that it was the perfect plan. Only the whole thing was a setup from the start, because Skywatch was using Prowl as bait. And so, it doesn't go well. They get attacked. They're running away. Naturally, as we all know, since it's night, which apparently is colored like daylight in this comic, or at least early sunset rather than cover of darkness. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, since they've got these inhibitors, Skywatch decides, oh no, they're dangerous! We need to use the heavy weapons on these guys! And naturally, because they're aiming like anyone with common sense would, they aim for the bright red and yellow guy. And then Ironhide jumps in the way and dies, as everybody has seen in the preview pages right now. So yeah, Ironhide jumps in the way. The same Ironhide who got blown up by Skywatch jumps in the way, gets shot in the chest, and dies. It's not like we haven't seen Transformers take this kind of damage before. I mean, there was always Starscream and Infiltration. I mean, admittedly, I will admit that was E.J. Sue over-embellishing Simon Furman's description, but still, we've seen Transformers take a large amount of punishment before, and evidently a shockwave-derived weapon is enough to kill Ironhide in one shot. So yeah, Hot Rod and Co. are pissed, get away, Ironhide's body's brought back, and Prime has one of his classic Simon Furman guilt trips. In fact, I really have to say I like how Prime is written in this, despite my snarky attitude here. Prime is written basically like a Simon Furman Prime. in terms of the fact that the dude is a bowl of angst ready to bubble over at any moment. So Prime is basically like, I can't lead you guys anymore. I don't know what's going on here. The war. This is a completely new situation. I don't trust my own judgment. I don't know who should to pick for leader. So I quit. I'm just gonna leave you guys hanging, and I'm gonna turn myself over to Skywatch. The end. So yeah, the story ends with Prime going over to Skywatch and surrendering, and Ironhide dead, and the Autobots leaderless.